Picture this. You're worth hundreds of millions of dollars. You've got fame, influence, and everything money can buy. But instead of just sitting back and counting your wealth, you decide to flip houses. Not just any houses, multi-million-dollar mansions that most people could never even dream of stepping foot inside. Ellen DeGeneres and Portia de Rossi have quietly built a real estate empire worth roughly $190 million. And the way they did it? It's both fascinating and completely unexpected. Most people know Ellen as the beloved talk show host who danced her way into America's hearts for nearly 2 decades. The woman who made coming out on national television a defining moment in LGBTQ+ history. But behind those famous blue eyes and that infectious smile lies a business mind so sharp. It's transformed luxury real estate into an art form. This isn't just about buying and selling houses. This is about 2 women who turned their passion for beautiful spaces into one of Hollywood's most successful side hustles. And the story of how they did it. It starts long before Ellen ever sat behind that iconic talk show desk. Born in Metairie, Louisiana, Ellen grew up in a middle-class family where money was always a consideration. Her parents divorced when she was young, and she watched her mother struggle to make ends meet. Those early years taught her something powerful about security, about the importance of having something solid to fall back on. "I never wanted to feel vulnerable again," Ellen once said about those formative experiences. And that drive for security would later manifest in ways no one could have predicted. Ellen's path to stardom wasn't easy. She worked as a house painter, a bartender, and even sold vacuum cleaners door to door before comedy became her calling. Those jobs taught her to see potential where others saw problems, a skill that would prove invaluable decades later when she started. Looking at rundown mansions and seeing gold mines, the breakthrough came in the 1990s with her sitcom Ellen. But it was her decision to come out on the show in 1997 that changed everything. Overnight, she went from America's sweetheart to a controversial figure. The backlash was swift and brutal. Her show was canceled. Her career seemed over. "I lost everything," Ellen later reflected. "My career, my reputation, my sense of who I was." For 3 years, she barely worked. The entertainment industry had essentially blacklisted her. During those dark moments, Ellen learned something crucial about resilience, about rebuilding from nothing. Then came the Ellen DeGeneres Show. In 2003, what started as a daytime talk show became a cultural phenomenon. Ellen was back, bigger than ever. The show would run for 19 seasons, earning her dozens of Emmy Awards and making her one of the most recognizable faces on television. But success the second time around felt different. Ellen had learned that fame could disappear overnight. She needed something more stable, something she could control. Enter Portia de Rossi. They met at a party in 2000. But Portia was in a relationship at the time. Ellen was immediately smitten, but she waited. "I knew she was the one," Ellen would later say. "I just had to wait for her to figure it out too." Portia, born Amanda Lee Rogers in Australia, had built her own successful acting career with shows like Ally McBeal and Arrested Development. But she was also someone who understood the value of financial independence. Growing up, she'd watched her single mother work multiple jobs to support the family. When Ellen and Portia finally got together in 2004, they discovered they shared more than just love. They both had an eye for design, appreciation for craftsmanship, and a business instinct that ran deep. Their first major real estate purchase together was a Beverly Hills estate in 2007 for $15.75 million. Most people would have called it their forever home. Ellen and Portia called it their first project. They spent months renovating every detail, hand-selecting fixtures, redesigning layouts, creating spaces that felt both luxurious and livable. Portia's artistic background combined perfectly with Ellen's instinct for what people wanted. "We weren't trying to flip it," Portia explained in an interview. "We were trying to perfect it." But when they put it on the market 2 years later, it sold for $20 million. A $4.25 million profit that opened their eyes to something bigger. That's when the real magic started happening. Ellen and Portia developed a system that was part art, part science. Ellen would scout properties with potential. Not just expensive ones, but homes with good bones that were being undervalued. She had a gift for seeing past bad wallpaper and dated fixtures to the masterpiece underneath. Portia handled the creative vision. She'd walk through these spaces and imagine them transformed. Her background in the arts meant she understood how lighting, flow, and design elements could completely change how a space felt. Together, they became a formidable team. They'd buy a property, live in it while renovating it, then sell it once they'd maximized its potential. It wasn't just business. It was their lifestyle. Their Montecito compound, purchased in 2008 for $26.5 million, became their crown jewel. They transformed the 26-acre estate into something that looked like it belonged in Architectural Digest. Then they sold it for $33.30 million in 2012, nearly $7 million profit from a single property. But the numbers only tell part of the story. Ellen and Portia weren't just flipping houses. They were curating experiences. Each property they touched became a masterpiece of design and functionality. Their Beverly Hills mansion, bought for $40 million in 2012, was sold to Sean Parker for $55 million just 2 years later. Their Malibu beach house, purchased for $18.6 million, sold for $45 million. Property after property. The pattern continued. Industry experts started taking notice. "They have an incredible eye," said luxury real estate agent Kurt Rappaport. "They don't just buy expensive houses. They buy houses with potential, and they maximize every square foot of that potential." The secret to their success wasn't just money. It was timing, vision, and an understanding of what ultra-wealthy buyers actually wanted. Ellen's years in entertainment had taught her about storytelling, and every house they created told a story. Their properties weren't just homes. They were lifestyle statements. Places where someone could imagine hosting intimate dinners or grand celebrations. Spaces that felt both aspirational and livable. By 2019, Ellen and Portia had bought and sold over 20 properties. Their combined profits were approaching $100 million. But for Ellen, it represented something deeper than money. It was proof that she'd built something that couldn't be taken away from her. "Real estate is tangible," Ellen once explained. "It's something you can touch, something you can improve. Something that holds value even when everything else feels uncertain." The couple's approach evolved over the years. They started focusing on fewer higher-end properties. Instead of quick flips, they'd spend 2 or 3 years perfecting a single estate. The profits per property increased dramatically. Their Carpinteria estate, purchased for $7.2 million in 2017, was sold for $33.3 million in 2020. Their Montecito home, bought for $27 million in 2019, sold for $33.3 million just a year later. Each sale seemed to break their previous records, but 2020 brought challenges that tested everything Ellen had built. Workplace toxicity allegations emerged about the Ellen DeGeneres show. Former employees spoke out about a hostile work environment. Behind the scenes, Elon's reputation as the be kind advocate came under intense scrutiny. "I learned that things happen here that never should have happened." Ellen addressed the controversy directly. The allegations were painful, but they didn't destroy her. She'd survived career devastation before. In 2022, Ellen made the decision to end her talk show after 19 seasons. It wasn't because of the controversy. It was because she was ready for the next chapter. She'd built something that gave her options. The real estate portfolio had become more than a side business. It was financial freedom. It was creative expression. It was a legacy that existed independent of television ratings or public opinion. Today, Ellen and Portia continue to buy, renovate, and sell properties. Their latest acquisition, a $70 million Carpinteria compound, represents their most ambitious project yet. They're not just flipping it. They're creating what might be their masterpiece. The $190 million they've made from real estate represents something remarkable. It's proof that success can come from unexpected places. That creativity and business instinct can transform a passion into an empire. But perhaps most importantly, it's a story about resilience. About two women who understood that true security comes from building something that can't be canceled, can't be taken away, and continues to grow even when everything else feels uncertain. Ellen and Portia didn't just flip houses, they flipped the script on what it means to build lasting wealth in Hollywood. They prove that sometimes the best investments are the ones you can actually live in. Their story reminds us that success isn't just about the spotlight. Sometimes it's about finding your passion, perfecting your craft, and building something beautiful that lasts long after the cameras stop rolling. What other celebrity business ventures have surprised you? Drop a comment below and let us know what story you'd like to see next. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into Ellen and Portia's real estate empire, make sure to subscribe for more untold stories from Hollywood's most fascinating figures.